VGK hires two new assistant coaches. One is a former NHL head coach. We'll tell you about the new additions right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. Make sure that you check out that sizzling hot YouTube channel, Locked On Golden Knights, and subscribe there. And you could find us on Twitter at Locked On VGK, at Tony Dasco, at TD Chris G. And of course, you could find us wherever you get your podcasts. Typical, Chris. 5 o'clock.
Here it comes. 4:15.
And okay, 4:15. And no, we will not be hearing from the new assistants, according to the team. We're not going to hear from them. They have no comment. Okay, great. The Golden Knights late afternoon Wednesday announcing a couple of hirings, two new assistants as they replace, I guess, at least when it comes to head count, Ryan Craig, and he's the new head coach currently with the AHL Silver Knights, and Misha, good luck in your future endeavors, Donskov. It's a mouthful. The two new assistants are Dominque Ducharme, the former Montreal Canadiens head coach, and Joel Ward, who is promoted from the Henderson Silver Knights. So Ducharme, pretty interesting, right? So now VGK will have three current or former NHL head coaches on the staff. So you got John Stevens, you got Ducharme, and of course, Big Bad Bruce. You got those three, right? So Ducharme, head coach of the Canadiens 2021. They lost in the Stanley Cup final to the Lightning, and Ducharme was fired by the Habs the following season, following a very slow start. Carey Price was out with the injury, as we know, and then, of course, the drug issues and all of that. Shea Weber, that guy that we took off their hands later on, he was also hurt, and a lot of players actually were down, if I recall correctly, due to COVID, right? A very difficult time. So February of 2022, Ducharme was fired by the Habs. And earlier in November, their general manager was also fired. So he had new management, didn't know the direction. Cole Caulfield, there was a big dispute.
This dude's got some baggage. We got some baggage, Tony.
That's where I'm going with this one. So what is the role that Dominque Ducharme takes on with the Vegas Golden Knights?
I don't know. So let's recap what's happened so far as offseason coaching changes. We know that Ryan Craig, former VGK assistant, is now going to be the head coach of the Henderson Silver Knights. We applaud that move. We think it's great for the organization as a whole. I think that's a wonderful move. Someone needs to take his spot on the bench. And I put out probably a week ago, maybe even 10, 12 days ago, I thought Joel Ward was going to be the lead candidate to replace Ryan Craig. And now it seems like two people have replaced Ryan Craig. Is there another move that's coming? Is something else about to happen? Because we were talking about... I just keep feeling
kind of strange about John Stevens. I said this like late in the season, in the regular season. I just feel like, I think, he's going to be a hot commodity, but I don't know if someone's trying to poach him, if his plans are to leave. I have no idea, but I don't know why you need, well, of course, if Cassidy were to get suspended or something, of course, you've got other head coaches, former head coaches.
Listen, Kelly McCrimmon can come down and coach if he needs to. That happened. And Joel Ward was actually behind the bench when that happened, too. It was the entire Silver Knights coaching staff led by Kelly McCrimmon on the bench.
About that.
That was remarkable. But, Joel Ward makes sense. I don't understand, and maybe we'll learn in the coming days if someone talks to us about it and gives us a heads up.
What's your gut reaction? What is your gut reaction, Chris?
Why? I mean, something about too many cooks in the kitchen and something about the hen house, and we can go on and on about, all too many, sheriffs and deputies and all the poor puns that I'm listing off here right now. But You don't need another suit behind the bench, I don't think. Honestly, I don't know how many suits are normally behind the bench. Was VGK down one? Did they elect to have one less than other teams? I mean, I don't know. I gotta think possibly another coaching change is coming, but why would it happen like this? Why would you announce the person coming in before the person going out? I don't see either one of these gentlemen taking Donskov's role. We talked about that as well, who his official role was actually the director of hockey operations. They didn't hire a director of hockey operations. 2 assistant coaches were hired. So we'll wait and see. I mean, it's Vegas. It's the off season. There's not going to be any shortage of drama. And this is maybe a little more drama than we thought that might have been coming.
Well, again, there's never a loss for content on this show. So thank you so much, VGK. And thanks for the late news dump on Wednesday. Ward is a former player, right? And he was with the Silver Knights since day one, since they began here in 2020. And I think that it appears to me on the surface, another move to bridge the gap between the AHL Silver Knights and the VGK, because I don't feel, you said it best. You said that you felt that there was a disconnect between the NHL team and the AHL team. And I have to agree with you there.
VGK certainly likes their assistants. The head coaches leave and the assistants stay. So you joke that we got some made men. We can add Joel Ward to that list of made men right now. But Ward, I don't have a lot of intel about him besides just watching him. Very positively received by the staff, by the players. Very interactive with fans and things like that. So I think just at that perspective, it's a good move versus bringing someone from the outside. And you said it again. This is a great opportunity to bridge the gap between Henderson and Vegas, and just to kind of keep that synergy going instead of kind of quoting Kelly McCrimmon a little bit here, instead of bringing in people from the outside, although someone from the outside was brought in. And I don't know. We'll see.
I wonder what the connection. Yeah, I wonder what the connection is there. It has to be some sort of a connection with Ducharme and with McCrimmon. And when we talk about the Golden Knights, we always talk about their depth. Now there's a ton of depth on the bench.
I didn't see the Wheat Kings mentioned anywhere about Ducharme, so I don't see that anywhere.
Yeah, no, there's something, drinking buddies back in the day or something. So
yeah,
it's pretty interesting. And then again, he did have some personnel issues. Cole Caulfield is the one that comes to mind. They sent him back and forth between Montreal and the minor league team, and a lot of confusion there. And then at the end of the day, I know that I had read at the time, if I recall correctly, Ducharme saying something to the effect that there wasn't any great lines of communication. He didn't know if management wanted him to lose or what their purpose was. And so Ducharme was also an assistant coach in Montreal dating back to 2019.
And he was, so just recapping his timeline here, the press release says parts of the 2020-21 and 21-22 season. So Montreal fired a coach. Ducharme takes him to the Cup final. Doesn't he make it through the next season?
Remember, they were sub 500 in the bubble year, right? They were sub 500 and like in 4th or 5th place, if I remember, going into the playoffs. They just
that's when they eliminated VGK, right? That's when they won the Campbell Bowl in Vegas. They won the Campbell Bowl, the Eastern Conference team. Back to more madness here.
That was definitely madness against an Eastern team, which was a lot of confusion during.
It's such a Vegas thing to lose the Campbell Bowl to an Eastern Conference team. Just adds to the list of things that is just remarkable about the Golden Knights. I'm not knocking them. I'm just simply saying it's cool. Now,
people are going to look back and go, "Wait, why were they playing Montreal for the Western?"
Yeah, no, it's interesting. It's interesting. It's fun.
So
it's fun.
Pretty funny, to say the very least. So coming up next, we'll take a look at where the Stanley Cup was at Wednesday. We know where it wasn't. It wasn't on the red carpet.
They had the little one. They had the little one. They had the little ones.
We'll talk about that miniature trophy and everything else. And we've got some news on Bruce Cassidy making a radio appearance on WEEI in Boston. We'll tell you what he said on Wednesday, right after this on Locked On Golden Knights. Today's episode brought to you by a product that myself and Chris, we literally use it every day. It is AG1 by Athletic Greens. And maybe you are like us. You want something that's healthy and you want to eat well. And it's always difficult here in Vegas when you're trying to eat on the run, but that is easier said than done. So that's no longer the case with AG1. Just one delicious scoop of AG1 in a glass of water each and every day, and you absorb 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens. That's right. It helps you get the day off on the right foot. The special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, and for myself, I really do sleep a lot better. All of those things. It can be very hard, expensive as well, right? As you try to keep track of all the multiple different supplements and vitamins, not to mention how hard this can be on your stomach. AG1 costs you a lot less and less than $3 per day, and you're investing in your health, and it's much cheaper than your cold brew habit. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and to arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. So to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is go to athleticgreens.com/NHL Network. Again, athleticgreens.com/NHL Network to take ownership over your health and to pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from the home of the Sphere in Las Vegas. That thing's everywhere. It's all over the news.
So look, I'm going to talk about something real fast. We had good days today. You were busy doing your things today around town, right?
We were busy all over the place.
Yeah, I had an okay work day doing my stuff, my cards and writing a little bit. But I had a bad day today.
What?
Philadelphia Flyers social media team.
Oh.
Did you catch wind of that or no?
Yeah, that's that person that they left the hot mic going from the social media team. That person was probably me. Every time someone asks about an injury, because you're never going to get an answer. Why in the did they ask that question again?
for those that didn't get the whole story here. So Garnet Hathaway, I don't know if it was his introductory presser, but he's a new member of the Philadelphia Flyers, and he was asked a question he's probably been asked 30 times already. You got a pretty decent career. Why are you in Philly, basically, when you could maybe go to a competitor? That wasn't the exact question, but that's the hypothetical version of it. And as the question's winding up, you hear what was later identified as a social media member of the Philadelphia Flyers. How many more times is this person going to ask this blanking, this WTFing question? There you go. How many more times are they going to ask this blanking question? And then they double down. You hear someone in the background 30 seconds later, Flyers suck.
Keith Jones, who's new now to the organization in his new capacity.
He had to go on the radio. He had to go on the radio about that.
And because he's been a part of the media for the past few years now, right?
Yeah,
so he understands both sides of the table. So we do have, hey, if anyone's looking for an intern out there. Okay, so Jonathan Marshall, so Nick Hague and Aiden Hill. Walking the ESPYs red carpet on Wednesday night in Hollywood.
Stanley Cup.
So I put side by side on my Twitter handle at Tony Dasco. So see that little miniature Stanley Cup?
Mm-hmm.
The same size trophy was given to Kelsey Plum last year when she won the most valuable player in the WNBA All-Star.
Yeah, I think you WTF'd that in one of our episodes. I think I remember that.
I put those two photos side by side, but that was because the real cup, we thought that the cup might make an appearance, right?
How does it not?
Well, because I think they're getting prepared for the big day with Bruce Cassidy coming up on Thursday. Yeah, for sure. No, they could have gotten it coast to coast. By the way, Jonathan Marchessault did not win the best NHL player. That went, of course, to Connor McDavid.
Shocker there.
Yeah, and I didn't see any results. I didn't watch much of the
Kansas City Chiefs.
Best team was the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, so, oh well.
Rigged.
So 0-for-2, but they got a chance. Again, more visibility for this team, and that's great. And again, for the city, it's really cool. So I wanted to talk a little bit in this segment as well. Bruce Cassidy is back there on the East Coast, and he's back there in the Boston area. And in the offseason, all of these coaches, players, everyone's doing interviews everywhere except for Las Vegas. Okay, I'm just throwing that out there. In any event, on WEEI radio, on the Greg Hill show on Wednesday, Cassidy asked if there was any way that the veterans on the Boston Bruins team could have salvaged his job while he was there. Players like Patrice Bergeron, aka William Karlsson.
Salvage. That's a weird way to put it, don't you think?
Yeah, couldn't they have saved your job? No, you were
but
already done.
No, but I mean, like again, I don't know what the situation exactly was there leading to Cassidy's departure, but from the outsider's perspective, I felt that it was the players that did him in. Those exit interviews. One of the reasons we felt Pete DeBoer was let go, and we learned about the power of these exit interviews across the National Hockey League.
Those are powerful.
And
yeah,
they really are. And I honestly felt that maybe the general manager was maybe on the fence, wanted to hear what the players had to say. And the players, I felt, were the ones that, just, put the nails in the coffin. And of course, Cassidy's given the right answers. They have opinions. They should have opinions. Some players were easier to coach than others. I mean, that's not breaking news for any team. So, I don't know. It's
but he has a little bit of a smirk on his face, right? Knowing he did get the last laugh.
I mean, listen, if this would have happened 6 months later, you have a ring on his finger too, to, doing it like this. While
Let's
he's
hope it's not a $5,000 ring. Let's hope it's a $40,000 to $50,000.
He'll get the right ring. He'll get the right ring.
Okay. So Cassidy said that he wouldn't put it on any one player because, again, Bergeron seems to be that player that they point to as the leader of the Bruins. And I think that he's got a pretty good relationship.
I feel like DeBrusk was one of the big ones that was talked about too.
And Krejci, maybe.
I feel like DeBrusk is a name that stands out to me. I have nothing more than that.
Yeah, no. And so, he said that it was a management decision. I could see more than anything else. I could see Cassidy wearing thin on the players. I just think he's just nonstop. And he's just very intense, very aggressive, if you will. And like when Marchessault said that first shift is out there, they don't do the right things. And then everyone else has to sort of pay for it on the bench. And it kind of sets the tone in a bad way for the Golden Knights.
It's all definitely fair. I don't know how aggressive he is. Like if he's, verbally undressing these players and, MFing them, call it what it is, I guess.
On the bench, they say he's intense.
Yeah. And
he doesn't appear to be that way when we see it. Well, not often though. Right?
No, there's a couple times like when things weren't going well, I would focus a camera on the bench for a little bit and you'd see Cassie get going a little bit. And I've seen a couple moments where he really does let it go. But I think where Cassidy will wear the players out a little bit is with the attention to detail. As a coach, it's very easy on the bench to micromanage everything. I mean, that's what your job is. Your job is to tell the players what they did wrong. And, it's a lot easier to explain from, 50 feet away, wearing a suit, standing on a pedestal versus, the players out there, getting hit and sweating, working hard and all that stuff. And I could see Cassidy never turning it off. Like that's probably a vibe that I have. And that's also not a knock on Cassidy. I'm sure there's many coaches, you watch what Paul Maurice does. Would you rather have, and I'm not talking results. I'm simply talking, would you rather have Paul Maurice, who is a friggin' wacko, call it what it is. He's nuts.
Right. He's a little,
Cassidy, I think has a little bit of a down to earth side to him as well. Lets the guard down with the players, but he also treats them the right way. And listen, again, I know Golden Knights fans, I know you guys hate to hear this, but in 3 years, he's probably not going to be the coach right now. I'll say 3 years, he's not going to be the coach. I know we're going to get comments for that. I know you're going to get mad at me about that, but this is just the reality of the National Hockey League. It's not a knock on Cassidy. It's not a knock on Kelly McCrimmon. If you want to talk stats, we're on our, sixth or third coach in 6 seasons. Do the math, people. Do the math.
So he said, again, that Sweeney and Cam Neely really needed a different voice. That's what he felt. And he said it's just hard to put it on any one player. He thought that was kind of ridiculous. He did say that winning the cup helped to heal the scar from Game 7 in 2019 when they lost to St. Louis.
Yeah, I mean, a Stanley Cup definitely
keeping you awake again.
No, yeah, you're keeping me awake. He said Stanley Cup, that got me going again. No, I mean, the Stanley Cup will heal a lot of scars and a lot of problems in one's life, that's for sure, and Cass, I mean, he's all class, right? He's all class in his handlings with the media and stuff, and he says the right things, and he mentioned all the people that did reach out to him after the Stanley Cup victory and everything, and it's
But
the
he's
Golden
back
Knights
in
are
Boston
fortunate.
now. I think he's got a little hop to his step back
He
there.
should. He definitely
Yeah,
should have a
I
little hop to
definitely
his step.
believe he does.
He
Yeah.
should, and he earned that. He earned that 100%.
I hope the sun is out. I hope he's got a good tan for his day with the Cup coming up on Thursday. And when we return here on Locked On Golden Knights, Chris, my man, wants to take a look at a dumpster dive into the bottom 4 teams in the Pacific Division.
Let's go.
Oh, Chris, another sensational headline.
Shut up, Tony.
We'll return with more. Right, shut up, Tony. Right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Birddogs make you look good. We have these shorts. They're stretch khaki shorts. They are designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and through the leg, and they give us really a truly sculpted look. Believe it or not, myself and Chris, we both really do wear our Birddogs wherever we go. Truly, I wear them on the golf course in 117-degree weather, like I will this Sunday. They're very comfortable. You know what, too? When it gets hot out here in Vegas, they don't stick to you or cling. That's like a lot of people try to cling, hang on to us because we're the host of Locked On VGK. Birddog shorts do the same exact things that Lululemon does for you, but it feels much better. They fit way better than regular shorts that are made of a stiff, restricting cotton. Birddogs fixed this issue by inventing something called cloud knit fabric, and it really does feel good. And the khaki kind of stretches a little bit, and it makes you feel a lot slimmer, much slimmer fit for you without having to sacrifice your movement. So again, we wear them anywhere, hanging out with friends, wherever you're going, around the house with the family, the barbecue, what have you. So go to birddogs.com/LockedOnNHL. You can enter the promo code LockedOnNHL for a free Yeti style. Got it right here. Tumbler, free. Is that showing up there?
It's enough.
Okay, we got the logo in there. The free Yeti style tumbler, of course. Go to birddogs.com/LockedOnNHL. Use the promo code LockedOnNHL for the free Yeti style tumbler. You won't want to take your Birddogs off, we promise you. We are back on Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thank you so much for making us your first listen each and every day. Don't forget What the Friday comes up on Friday, just a day away. So get all of your comments out there for us. We appreciate all of those. And of course, find us on the YouTube channel and subscribe at Locked On Golden Knights. So we are going to talk about the bottom 4 teams in the Pacific Division. Why? Why in July? Why?
I think it's because it's July, and that's kind of the reality that we have to deal with right now.
Is this filler?
We don't
ever need filler.
It's a little filler.
No, we never need filler. Are you kidding me? Look at all the topics.
No. This is good right now. But I mean, it's important to keep an eye on what's happening in the Pacific right now. And really fast, Shut Up Tony is getting attention. We're getting comments on YouTube. We're getting comments on Twitter. I'm getting comments about it when I'm doing my shows for my friends that follow my sports card shows and stuff.
So where did this begin?
I told you to shut up the other day.
Why? What did I say? I'm never
didn't you say
on this show.
It was schedule, and then Rita got on board.
Oh, it's so rigged.
There you go. Shut up, Tony. T-shirts, hats. Like, this is a thing. We're gonna get rich off selling this stuff, Tony.
SHADDUP. Shut up. Okay, go ahead, man.
So the bottom 4 right now. It's all good. It's late. It's July. The bottom 4 teams. It's interesting what's happening right now. Why I find this interesting is because the best of the worst right now, at least for their offseason performance, I think is the San Jose Sharks right now. They're putting some interesting pieces in place. You got Declare. They're taking a shot with Zadina. They're going to make something happen with Erik Karlsson.
That was interesting.
That was interesting. We'll see what that amounts to. 6th overall pick in 2018, not lived up anywhere close to expectations, but he agreed to basically have his contract terminated, which led to a pay cut. So he's taking a 1-year bridge deal in San Jose to prove himself. And it's a great move by San Jose to take him on, see what happens. And
he'll score 35 goals.
If he gets 35 goals, that'd be a great
7
season
points.
for him.
And then he's going to fly the coop.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, he's gonna get paid. Yeah, he's Vegas.
He'll get
Vegas
paid somewhere
loves
else.
this opportunity. So we'll see what happens with San Jose. The Flames, though. Oh my goodness, that is the dumpster fire of dumpster fires. And everyone thought there was a big issue with Sutter being the coach and how he was, but you look at everything before that with Kachuk wanting out, with Goudreau wanting out. Huberdeau comes in, who left a trail of fire behind him in Florida when he told the GM to F off after he got traded. And just such a mess there right now. And we'll see if, what's born out of this mess, if there's some players, that can actually, perform. But even they lost like Matt Phillips, one of their highest prospects, because they wouldn't give him a one-way deal for basically the same amount of money that he took somewhere else. I mean, you can't tell me that their number one prospect doesn't have a spot on the everyday roster. Anaheim is interesting. They're the team that's probably building the quickest right now to become a competitor. They're still probably a few years away, but I was just kind of talking with some people when I was doing my shows today. Like, is Anaheim setting up for like a splash, right? Let's just hear me out here. Austin Matthews doesn't decide to go back to Toronto. This Arizona pipe dream doesn't happen because, well, they don't even know where they're going to be playing. So is there a chance that, Anaheim just, takes a shot there and says, Austin Matthews, we got Zegras, we got McTavish, we got Drysdale. Now you come join us. And all of a sudden Radko Gudas is living high and dry, playing defense. That could be interesting. And shout out to my buddy, William, or was it Ray? It was either William or Ray. One of them made the comment today during my show that eventually the Arizona Coyotes are going to relocate to that new arena in Tahoe and share that with them.
4,300.
Exactly.
That's
what
is
the number
that double
is.
the size of their current arena?
Probably is. And then we Vancouver, we'll see what happens with Vancouver. They're stuck halfway between rebuilding and trying to be competitive, and they just can't seem to get it right. So they're probably going to be, somewhere around sixth in the division. And,
come on.
We'll
so they have
happens.
a third line center now by the name of Teddy Bluger. And
if he's
Brock
the third line
Boeser,
center, that tells you enough right there.
and Brock Boeser rescinded his trade request. So, I mean, they've got
Besser's going to stay. Okay. You want to go to Islanders with Horvat?
Could we see a bounce back, in all joking aside, with the Flames from Jonathan Huberdeau? He was down from the previous season, down 60 points. He only had 15 goals. When you look at it in black and white, because I went back and I was looking at it in the off season, I'm like, 60 fewer points than the previous season. That's unheard of.
He should have a bounce back, but the issue is it's not Huberdeau. There's no one left. Everybody wants outs. And you have this whole slew of, we look at the waves in which the Golden Knights contracts expire. You got three key pieces this year. And then 2 years go by, a couple key pieces. Like, everything doesn't expire all at once, but you have a lot of key pieces to that Flames roster expiring next season, 24-25. And they know unless they throw a ton of money at these guys, no one's staying in Calgary. They want outs. So they're going to trade everyone that is going to be UFA status coming into the 24-25 season. And whether it's draft picks, prospects, a combination of both, they're gone. So, good luck, Huberdeau. Go get him, boy.
Yeah, I'm really interested in this Anaheim team.
And
They're
Kadri.
kind of intriguing. They're intriguing to me, only because I want to see how these pieces will fit in. Alex Killorn had a career high 64 points this past season. Radko Gudas, you talked about him.
He's fun. I like him.
When they passed on Adam Fantilli, though, I kind of said, oh, here we go again. And then they added Robert Hagg defensively from Detroit, right? And so, they could be okay there on the back end. They need to be better. They need to protect John Gibson or whoever the goal.
Yeah, that's another situation. Jeez, what's up with that?
I know. They allowed a league high 39 shots on goal a game. 39. And we told you that one time after the Gibson interview, he had faced 50 or more shots 3 times. More than 50 shots 3 times. So
yeah,
he needs some heavy armor there.
No doubt. We'll see what happens with the Ducks. I mean, they got the right core. And if they find a way to keep McTavish, Drysdale, and Zegras, together, learning, and then Troy Terry, he's got his arbitration coming up. That's
arbitration.
that'll be a non-starter. That'll get it worked out and everything. And
yeah,
they'll be a good team. They got to learn a little bit, but 2 years from now, if the Golden Knights are still competitive, we hope they are. The Ducks might be the team knocking on the door because the Kings window is very short right now. The Kings window is very short.
And Greg Cronin is the new head coach of Anaheim. I'm going to do something with you, a little exercise, if we will. Okay, I'm going to say up, down, or equal. Okay, or the same.
Up, down, down, left, right. Oh, sorry, I was
with
playing
these
Contra.
4 teams. Okay,
up, down. What are my choices
let's
again?
talk about up, down, or they're the same. They're
up,
the same.
down,
Did they
or
improve?
equal?
Did they decline, or are they the same?
I got you. Okay, I'm with
Play
you.
along,
same
bro.
page.
Play
it took
along,
me a second.
bro.
It took me a second.
San Jose.
Up.
Yeah, the arrow's pointing up. Anaheim.
Equal.
I think it's pointing. Really, I think it's pointing up. A little slight nudge.
Yeah.
Up.
If it's okay, if we can do halves, then sure. I'll say half up.
Okay, Vancouver. Down.
Down-ish. Yeah, if we can go ishes, I'll say down-ish.
Yeah, and then we've got the Flames.
You have the down arrow, 50 feet of crap, and then the Calgary Flames.
So down. Yeah, down.
It's unfortunate. I mean, I know we're dogging them, but it's unfortunate what they're going through, and a very storied franchise. Hopefully it does get figured out, but I mean, it starts with the stadium situation. They're playing in that dump up there. That requires a catwalk for the media people to get around up there, and rules against having anything out of your pockets because it could fall. Like literally, someone told me, I was talking to a photographer at one of the Golden Knights games that shoots for the NHL, and she explained when you're on the catwalk, there's signs like you can't walk with anything in your hands because if you bump, it'll fall right onto a bunch of seats right below you.
Cool. Okay, so their 2 goalies are still Jacob Markstrom. They did keep that, and Vladar.
Rittich? No, Vladar?
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are their 2 goalies. Okay.
Vladar for a minute was great.
Yeah, absolutely. And so they do have serviceable goaltending there, and they kept everything sort of stable with the Flames in that.
Sure.
Coming up on tomorrow's show, it's WTF. It's What the Friday. So much news is unfolding. We'll get the latest to you. Of course, we'll talk about Bruce Cassidy's day with the Cup. That's coming up on Thursday.
That's going to be very nice.
And that's going to be really cool. And we'll have a lot more information, I am sure. And don't forget, next week, we go to 3 days a week. 3 days a week. And
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. No disrespect, everybody. I'm okay with that.
We need to wind down a little bit. We've been going for a while here. So we'd like to thank everyone for tuning in, especially our everydayers and the folks that make things tick here. And then make sure that you do subscribe to the YouTube channel, Locked On Golden Knights. For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco from Las Vegas. And we'll see you again tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights.